Hey guys, Dano Zero and my buddy MacGyver.
What's up?
We are making hillbilly deer slugs. What we've got here is a, what is it, number 6?
Yep, number 6
Number
lead.
6 high brass shotgun shell. I don't know how well you can see it. And what we're doing is we got a hot pan of water, and then we've got a little cup here that we've got some wax in, paraffin wax. We're going to melt the wax, and then we cut the top of the shotgun shell so that we can get to the BBs. We're going to dump the BBs out into the wax, and then we're going to put the hot wax with the BBs, pour it back into the shotgun shell, and make a wax slug. And it's a lot cheaper doing it this way, making deer slugs, than it is to just go out and buy deer slugs, which you can't find them right now anyway. So anyway, we'll get a little bit further in the process and we'll catch up with you. You see we got the end off of the shot shell there. We trimmed the end of it off. This is what we're left. The only thing that's left in here now is the powder and the wadding. There's the wad. And in the tin cup here, we've got the wax and the BBs from the shot shell, and they're all melting together. And then what we'll do is we'll pour that wax along with the shot back into the shotgun shell here and fill it up. So there we are. Just wanted to bring it up to speed. Okay guys, let me give you a little more detail here what we're doing. On these new shotgun shells, you see how it's got the crimp right here, and then right around the edge it's got this rim. So what we do, we just take our knife and trim off the rim part so that we can just get just part of the plastic that has the crimp on it. See how it's opening up like that now? That's what we want. We want to open it up to where we can get to that shot. And then we take it over here and pour it into this other container with all the wax in it. The wax is all melted now. And those are the shot BBs in there. So we're getting ready to start loading them up, start filling them. Then you take your empty here and just trim off right around that rim, and you want to kind of make it as flush as you can get it, and you want to have it as even as you can get it across the top, because when you fill it up with the wax and the shot, you want it to kind of be level up here, but we'll show you that here directly. Okay, now we are going to take a teaspoon and start filling up those shot shells with the wax and the shot mixed together. A couple of things, points of safety. Paraffin wax has a pretty low flash point and it will catch on fire. That's why we are using the double boiler with the hot water in one pan and then another pan that has the wax in it, so that it doesn't catch on fire. And 2, we also would not recommend using steel shot. We want to use lead shot. That way, as it cools down, the lead will cool down at the same rate as the wax. And instead of having hard, solid wax at the top of your shell that is cooled off first, it'll cool down evenly with the lead shot, and it'll be solid all the way through, rather than just having the center being soft and liquid and the outside being hard, anyway. And any other kind of legal disclaimers, please do not try this at home. This is not recommended by the shot shell manufacturers and all that kind of stuff, and other big fancy lawyer type words.
When you're loading these up, be sure not to get over top of the wad or power piston. Any loose shot can fall out of the shell in a tubular magazine or in the action of the gun, and can actually cause the gun not to work. You don't want that. As these dry, the wax and the shot will constrict. You'll see it shrink down. This one's actually starting to glaze over as it dries. When it dries, though, we'll take just the paraffin wax and pour on top and cap it off, just to keep any shot from escaping the shell. Also, people might be worried about waxing of shot barrels. I've seen videos where people have used these and shot these, and I know a couple people who've used them, and it actually it doesn't wax up the barrel like you would think. It doesn't even really leave a powder residue that normally comes from shooting, so it won't dirty up your gun any more than normal.
Yeah. And that's why we have it on a cookie sheet. We're doing it on a cookie sheet. That way if you drop a couple of BBs here and there, then it's okay. You're not going to get all of that shot back into the shot shell.
No.
Anyway, you just want to fill it up to just right below where the wad or the power piston stops, depending on which kind of shell you're using. Okay, we're going to get these all filled up, and when we get them all filled up and they cool off, then we'll take you to the next step. Okay guys, you seen how we got them full, and now he's just taking spoonfuls of just the wax, no more shot, just the wax, and he's filling it up to the top now of the red part of the hull to cap it all off. Just the wax, filling it in. Making it even with the top of the shell. And it doesn't take very much wax. You would be surprised how little wax it does take, the paraffin wax. I wouldn't use any other wax, by the way, other than paraffin. I don't know about beeswax or none of that kind of stuff. That's probably a question that the Swamp Rat Man could answer. He raises and keeps bees. He may be able to say whether or not beeswax would work good for this. I don't know. I've never messed with beeswax before, so I hope this is coming out okay in the shot here. Have to forgive my great, wonderful camera work. So this is what we have. We're making 5 of them. That should be 5 juicy, brown, delicious deer in the freezer or the smoke shack. But not these, because we'll take them out on the range and shoot them and show you guys that they actually do work and they won't blow up and kill everything around. So there you go, y'all. You see how it's starting to coat over here on these? The wax is starting to cool off. That will cool off completely solid. It should take probably 15 or 20 minutes for everything to cool off completely, because we have the wax at about 135 degrees. So once these cool off solid, then I will show you what one of them looks like after it's completely solid and cool. Okay guys, we're making some more over here. But this first batch is cooled off, and they are cool and solid. And all this extra wax that is dripped down off the side, you just rub it right off with your fingers, just like that. And you can save this wax and use it to throw it back in and melt it again. Just like that. So all we are doing is taking the loose shot pellets and making it into a solid mass. That's all we're doing. And these work best in the break action shotguns, meaning the single shot or the double barrels. We are going to try to use them in my Remington 870. I'm pretty sure it'll work. I'm pretty sure they'll cycle. The first few, though, we're going to just load them one at a time. So, and I know there's going to be somebody out there who's like, oh, why don't you just buy a slug mold? Well, because I'm not going to buy a slug mold. That's why. A box of wax is about $4, and you can make hundreds of these things with a box of wax. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the high brass. So the reason we got the high brass is because we found them. You can use, you can buy those birdshot loads. They'll work just as good. You may not get the range. You don't have the kick behind the extra powder, but that's okay. It'll still do what it's supposed to do and make it as solid is what we're looking for. One solid projectile coming out of there. So this is what we have. We're going to put some of the extra, like I say, you're going to have extra shot from each one of these shells. You're going to have extras. You're not going to be able to get all the shot back in there. So once we get everything done, then we will show you what this is going to look like. We're going to take extra shot and extra wax and put it into this little cup here, and it will show you how well it solidifies and what it looks like. So that'll be the last step, and we'll get back with you here directly. Okay guys, here's the little medicine cup that we put the extra wax and shot into. You see, this is how it forms and molds the same way inside the shot shell. It becomes solid, a solid chunk. Now, like I say, we are not advocating that you use these or that you make these. We are simply showing that if you are on your own, in an on your own situation, and you have a little bit of wax, which we usually keep a little bit of wax around, the paraffin wax, and you have a shot shell, and that is your only means of trying to acquire some sort of big game for food, you can do this in your shot shell and make yourself a slug. Or, if you have one of these loaded in your double barrel next to your bed and somebody tries to break into your house and you nail them with one of these, they are going to have a nice big case of, oh crap, my legs don't work anymore. So there you have it. Wanted to show that with you, wanted to share it with you. Like I say, this is emergency use only. It's not, like I say, we are not advocating that you use these all the time. We're not advocating that you try to cycle these through a pump action shotgun or a semi-automatic action shotgun. But here in the next part of this video, we will show you that they do perform and that you can shoot them, and we will show you that out on the range. So for now, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. God bless in the end. Buzz, buzz, the end.